Subscribe to Grazia and press on the bell icon.
It's funny how shame has been associated with sex, particularly in the historically in the Western context for a very long time. I mean, there's, the biblical kind of ideas of original sin, of the Virgin Mary, this kind of these words, even the idea of virginity and the moral policing that comes with it. And we've kind of really ingrained all of that. I mean, I think most societies in today are still operate in some ways very much with the patriarchy entrenched, as I was kind of mentioning earlier. And I think sexual shame, it kind of allows for the control of how we reproduce and what we want to reproduce. It's by making sex seem like only acceptable in the context of reproduction and marriage, you very successfully control societies and keep social hierarchies alive and keep gender inequality alive and keep a sort of cishet power dynamic as the only acceptable expression of gender and sexuality alive. And I think it's great that there's more and more awareness now about why that it isn't even beneficial to the so-called, to the cishet men it claims to be serving, because toxic masculinity sucks. It doesn't serve men to be completely denied the ability to be emotionally vulnerable. Today, you still see parents in India tell their small toddlers, like, this is your eyes, nose, whatever, teaching parts of the body to a child. And they'll say, and that's shame. They might say that's your nunu or chuchu or something, but it is still
shame.
Shame is a euphemism for the genitals. So yeah, I feel like sexual shame is definitely culturally disseminated, and in most cultures, even in the West, it remains a thing. But I think people are recognizing that it would benefit us to relieve ourselves of that shame. It is unfortunate that many people are not able to talk to their trusted, especially young people, aren't often able to go to a parent or caregiver or teacher and ask a question about sex and sexuality. I think as you grow up, maybe you can talk to friends, and clearly people are having conversations on the internet because it allows you a certain freedom and privacy in a funny kind of way, right? Hopefully no one's looking at your phone and what you're asking whom. But I think it is so important that we make this information more readily available to young people, because studies globally actually show that young people with access to sex education and young people who can talk to a parent or caregiver about sex are more likely to delay having sex, less likely to take risks with their or another person's health or safety, and more likely to basically make safer, better choices. So I don't know why there's this huge anxiety. I feel like a lot of parents and educators and things seem to think that sex education is going to make all these young people have more sex, or it's going to corrupt young minds, but it actually does the opposite. And that makes so much sense to me. When something is hidden and shut off and forbidden, you are so much more curious about it. And the curiosity takes on this
human nature,
kind of unfortunate tinge of like shame. And, there's like the titillation almost comes from the fact that it's taboo, right? Whereas when something is just normalized and you are told about it in a respectful and non-patronizing way, I feel like it demystifies that thing. Maybe it even rids it of some of the titillation, because there is something about taboo anything that is strangely associated with arousal. So I don't mean to, take the sexy out of sex, but I do think it's worth empowering people with information so they can make safer, better choices. We talk about consent, safety, and things like that, where maybe there's less of a gray area around the right way to do things. But as far as pleasure goes and desire goes and arousal goes, like, there's so much figuring out to do from person to person.